welcome to the Belvista Studios Show. On this show, we introduce people to awesome e-learning and people that are doing good things in the e-learning space. And today I've got two new friends from Faster Course, and we've got Līva and Liga. And these guys are from basically a Faster Course. They develop templates for e-learning. I thought, how freaking awesome to have them on and talk about and showcase some of the designs that they've done, so we can break them down and figure out why they're good and why they've done it that way, so that we can learn as a community from them. So thank you for being here.
Sure, we're happy to be here.
That's good. You want to do a celebration dance?
Woo, woo, woo.
Nice. I like it. So just random question to start off with. I read that you guys have the tallest females in the world. Is that true?
Well, that could be, but both of us are quite short. Yes. We are not the examples you're looking for, but we do have some tall women who play basketball.
Yeah.
Are doing modeling.
Yes, we have
modeling.
Some quite good looking ladies here, but well,
World class.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Anything else? Because you're from Latvia, so anything you want to share about your culture that the rest of the world should know or appreciate about you guys?
Well, we're quite a small country, so we
are somewhere between Eastern Europe and Northern Europe, and we hope we like to think that we are more in the north than in the east.
Why is that?
Because of the culture differences, maybe.
Yeah, more similar to Scandinavians,
yes.
I think.
Oh, that's cool.
Values too.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. All right, well, let's get into it. So first question is, what's your favorite development tool? So you can individually, because I know you guys both play in the tool. So you both can do QA and develop, and I know you've got some marketing background as well. So I think that perspective on how you bring things to life is going to be good. What's your preferred development tool?
For e-learning, you mean like Storyline or Captivate?
Yeah.
Well, I used to be a Captivate developer for a few years, but I must say that I prefer Storyline sometimes. It's easier, it's more user-friendly. They have a community that is such a great aspect to the tool.
Yeah.
So I have to say Articulate. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
I work with graphic tools more. So Storyline, Captivate, or Lectora, it's more for developers. And I just create design that must be implemented in the templates. Or so for me, it's easier to create design for Storyline because it allows more interactions maybe, and it's although Captivate says it's responsive. It's not so easily to create design for a responsive design that is meant to be created by Captivate.
Yeah.
So it's easier to work with Storyline because it's more, as Līva said, it's user friendly.
Yeah.
And I believe Captivate has some limitations that you don't really like.
Yes.
So usually comes to, no, we can't do this in Captivate. Please think of something more simpler.
What are some of those limitations?
Actually, some basic stuff. You can't place some images and buttons, or you have to always think about how it's going to look on smaller screens, because we usually try to create responsive courses in Captivate. So sometimes it's a headache for the designer to create a design that would perfectly work in Captivate.
Yeah.
I guess that's why Storyline's easier, although it doesn't really give the option to create responsive courses. But
yeah.
Yes,
so let's talk. Oh, sorry. Yeah, go on. What were you saying, Liga?
Although it doesn't give you the possibility to look at design or to use the course on the mobile phone, it's more well built for computer users, and it's better to work to function properly on one device than do not so good on multiple.
Yeah. Do you have a tool that you use when you have to do a proper responsive course, not an adaptive one? Because I suppose for anyone that's not aware, like Articulate and Captivate, what they do is if you've got like your laptop screen or the PC screen, it basically just shrinks things and shows it the same way, but smaller on a mobile phone. But responsive is if you think about a website, it's like that on your like computer screen. And then what it does is it like shuffles things so that you can scroll down. So yeah, the tools say that they can work on mobile phones, but not in the way that users are used to. So if you want to do a proper responsive tool, what are you guys developing?
Well, we have stick to Captivate and Lectora. We rarely do like custom-made projects in HTML5 or something like that.
Yeah.
So Captivate works fine as a responsive. You just switch the objects, but Lectora is less responsive, more adaptive, I guess. So
okay.
We try to stick with what we have, so it's usually Captivate.
Yeah. Well, I think I've done one project in Captivate. Everything is Articulate for us. And that's because all of our clients, they have Articulate licenses. So if we hand over the development tools, then they can make those changes. What do your clients have? What is the marketplace demanding of you? Is it Articulate over there?
I have to say it's like 50-50.
Oh, really?
Well, what I see from the data that downloads the templates from our site, it's usually 50-50 Captivate and Storyline. The third tool, Lectora, it's like sometimes 10% because it's really good, but it's quite expensive. So only big companies use it. So usually it's quite the same for Captivate and Storyline.
Yeah, cool.
You don't have a winner here.
Okay, that's interesting. Maybe I'm very biased, but we don't have shares in any of these companies. But if they would like to pay us to like spruce their products, we're welcome to do that, don't we? Okay, do you guys want to show us some of your examples and talk us through them?
Sure.
I would love to see them.
So we're gonna start with one of our latest samples. So, just a second. This one, do you see it?
Yep, I can see your screen. That looks cool, very clean.
So, this was for a challenge in the Articulate community.
Oh, nice.
Liga designed it, and so maybe she can tell us a bit more about the design and why she chose images, buttons, colors, everything like that. So awesome. I can just click continue and you can start talking.
Okay, there are these eLearning Heroes weekly challenges, and we try to take part at least in 2 of them per month. So this one was built to enter a challenge about using sliders.
No, it was text and images.
Or text and images?
I think it was a quite simple challenge. You have to build a few slides with how you use text and images.
Right.
But
we used the slider too, because it was one of the new features. So, yes, and so we decided to go with slider too. Also, we try to create challenges, templates for challenges, or these little samples. Thinking about our future projects. So one of the templates we are working now is medical themed template, and it will be a bit similar to this what you are seeing now.
Yep.
So let's start. I wanted to create something light. As we know, design must be user friendly, and it must be subtle, so you don't actually see it so much. It is there, and it doesn't bother you.
I really like that.
Light.
That's a good thing. I haven't heard it before, but that's good thinking.
Yeah, and so because the most unpleasant thing for a designer is that the good design, they don't have you don't talk much about good design because you mostly don't see it, but it helps you to go through the course, or it makes your experience more pleasurable, more in line with nature. I don't know how to say. So you don't think about it so much. But
good design you don't notice. Bad design you notice. Yeah,
yes,
I really like that. That's cool.
So I don't know. The placement of the buttons are quite classical because people tend to read the page or anything they see in the screen in the form of letter Z or F, but for web it's letter Z, so you go from left top corner to the right top corner, and then down to the bottom left, and then to the out of the page you go through bottom right corner. So in the left side we have our logo, which leads to our web page, and in the upper right corner you usually place your navigation buttons, like sound, menu, something that needs to be placed to help a user use your product. And then you have one choice in the page actually to continue your journey through. It's continue button.
Yeah.
So you go to the next page. We created the slider. We couldn't think about much in terms of using image, I don't know, creatively, or because we have a time budget too.
I can demonstrate how this works.
Cool.
So you just slide through.
Yeah, it's quite simple.
Yeah.
But also in this slide, you always have to think about the user experience too. So for example, if it's your first time it's really a project, or you don't know that it's a slider, so you also can click here, and that's fine too, because you can't actually understand it the second that you have to slide it. So
that's true. And
you always have to think a bit too.
Yeah, I noticed then that you don't have instructions to guide the user and say, like, click to reveal or use the slider. What was the thinking behind that?
We believe that design must be how to say, it is intuitive, but it's a bad design if you need to explain everything. So if you need to say click here to do this, it's not quite a good approach. The elements that are interactive there must be somehow inviting by the form or by the color, and also the design must be forgiving. So if the user makes some mistake or he clicks somewhere, there is a response. And for example, if there's a drag and drop exercise, if he drags item into the box, I don't know, accidentally, or if he has changed his mind, there's a way back. You can undo the things or start over. And that's why here too, you can slide, you can press the little cycle and just slide, or you can click. Both ways are okay.
That's cool. Can I ask you, where did you get your images from? Where do you normally get images from, like photos?
We stick mainly to two sources.
Yep.
One of them is Unsplash, and
I
another
love
one
that
is
site. That is
yes,
so, it's so good. So that's Unsplash. It's like free, royalty free. You don't really have to credit people if you don't want to. So yeah, it's a good resource. And the other one?
yes, and the other one is pexels.com.
Oh yeah.
It's also great. But there's one more which is less popular, but it's more suitable for courses like that are more medical or some very specifically themed. That is called pixabay.com, but it features a lot of CCO licensed photos, but not only. So you must be quite careful what you download. So, but there's quite good stuff too.
Yeah, that's cool. We use Shutterstock, and we just buy like a casual license for a project. So like get the monthly one, and we get, I don't know, 350. It's charged to the project, and then we just basically download as many as we can in the time that we have it for the month, so that we grow our library over time. So that's the resource that we use.
Oh, yeah. Because we have to be careful. If we sell templates, those images have to be royalty free.
CCO, yes.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because yeah, we are giving it to them in a product, and they can only use it in the product itself. But you guys are on selling a product, so you definitely, if you're in that situation, for the people watching, you need to think about that, because you're not allowed just on sell someone else's image. So definitely check the terms of use.
Yeah. Okay, should we move on to the next slide?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, okay. There's only one button to do so.
Actually, yeah, so how do you get back? Oh, you got it on the top left. I see it now, sorry.
This is the second template we did with this kind of navigation. We didn't use back and forward or next buttons as it is usually, because I think that the back button must be less visible. It is there, but but the main thing that you want to focus on is the continue. You want your user to proceed, not to go back. So
yeah, what's the thinking behind that?
It's actually similar in marketing. That's why I understand it's a in the page you have to have only one call to action that you want the user to use. So I think in this case it's the same approach that we use in marketing and any other web development. So you have option to go back, but it's not like there, right there, as big as the movement forward.
Yeah, so as much as possible, you're trying to think one call to action on the screen.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. I like it.
Don't need cluster. So this is plain simple. Icons, some text, some background image to give more depth.
Yeah.
You draw these icons yourself, right?
Yeah, these are actually from one of our other templates that in Gustav Street.
Yes, from one of our first games.
Yes.
Oh, nice. What do you use to design those kind of icons? What tool?
Mainly it's Illustrator.
Yeah.
We work in, for illustrations it's Illustrator.
Yeah, that's my favorite as well.
To Adobe.
Yeah, same, Adobe. And I think like even as much as possible, if it needs to be done in Photoshop, I'm still trying to figure out a way how to do it in Illustrator, because I just feel more comfortable in that tool.
But we were thinking maybe about the switch to, what was the tool, Adobe?
For template creation, maybe someday we might try XD.
Oh yeah.
So, do you use it?
No, I don't, but I see it like starting to trend. So you guys play and let me know.
Sure.
And what's the decision behind that? Why do you want to do that?
Because e-learning too gets more responsive. Captivate claims to be responsive. It is kind of responsive. I hope they will do better in time.
Yeah.
And XD allows you to create mock-ups or sketches with interactions. So if you need to show some interaction or the way the page or template will function, it's more easy to demonstrate it
Because then you can show it and they
Yes.
can click through, right?
you can click
Yeah.
You don't have to tell me this button's going to do this,
Yeah.
this button's going to do that. So it's
So do you
easier
think
for a
you'll
client.
sorry to interrupt, do you think you'll start doing like storyboards in that, so that you're not using, I don't know, Word documents or PowerPoints or anything, you're just going straight in there, because then I suppose you're prototyping and you can get it to an end product a lot quicker?
I don't think that we're gonna change from Word or PowerPoint or I don't know to XD, because we have project managers who works with this kind of stuff, and I don't believe they will switch to XD.
No, that's a good point. I forgot. I forget everyone can't do everything. And I think that's what's really cool about you guys, is that you have, you know, you're a designer, then you got developers. And one thing I notice is people that develop in e-learning, they don't necessarily have a graphic design background.
No.
So like the tips that you're giving so far are like awesome, because I suppose you take them for granted. But for someone that's never studied or, you know, graphic design before, that's like totally new to them, do you have any places that you can recommend that people that don't know graphic design can, like any cool YouTube channels or something that they can jump on and start to get their head around the graphic design principles and learning the tools?
I could recommend there's this UX Planet, which has articles about UX and UI design. It's good.
Yeah.
For some good design inspiration, you can always visit Behance or Dribble.
Yeah. Those two
There are-
sites, for anyone watching, they're like basically where graphic designers put their portfolios out on the world, and they will do the whole, like if it's a packaging design, they'll do like the whole package mocked up and in a like cafe if it's a juice or something. So it's really nice to see those designs evolve. It's kind of like their thought process, but also where they put their portfolio. It's a really good source for inspo.
Yes, also there's a Smashing magazine also, who it's more like in printed version, but it also has a web page that posts a lot of useful tips and articles, and 99 Designs, they have started also to create some nice entries about design.
Yeah.
But actually, is there some place where you can learn only about e-learning design? I haven't seen any blog or that's just for e-learning designers or instructional designers. Yeah.
I don't think I'm
You should
aware.
create something like that. Do you know anything?
This is what this video is. We've done it.
Yes. I think you should start something like that. Where you know instructional
You guys sound like
designers.
you're in a better position to do it.
No.
The only thing that I don't know anything, to be honest. So I have a graphic design background, so I appreciate it, but the team don't. So initially I had to start with simple things like an e-learning style guide. And then like we've got like the tips, so like white space and using like the play button that's the same on a TV controller, so that people will play or interact with it the same that they would in real life. So we've got a few resources that we've given out now on our Creator Hub, so that they're free, where people can learn those, but like it's very basic is a very starting point, stepping stone to a few of the things that you guys have mentioned.
Okay, but that's good. I think the e-learning community is growing each year, so at one point there should be a resource where new designers can look up to.
Yeah, that can be your personal blog.
Yeah,
can have a personal YouTube channel. Cool. Do you want to take us to the next one? If you...
Okay. Well, yes, there is a simple drag and drop exercise. So you can sort the items for this time what you need or you don't need. We have built it very
it's one there, one there. Yes. Quite simple. Yes.
Yeah. That's cool.
And there you have feedback.
Yeah.
And we believe yes, we build our templates. I think there's always feedback constructed, because if you think about the user, it's always very welcome to give him feedback, so he knows what he has done wrong or right.
Yeah.
Also, one thing about feedback design, usually green is thought of correct.
Yeah.
And red wrong. But if you have company that has a red color in its logo, or red is its main color, you can't use red as a wrong feedback color.
The whole company is wrong.
It's one more thing, because it will, because that way the brand will look negative.
Yeah, that's a good tip.
But for green, go ahead.
Yeah, I like it. That's really nice. I love that it's like simple. It's just basically what you need to know is all that's there. Yeah, no instructions. I really like that, because I definitely see a lot of click next to do blah, and just like people can read that there's a next button. It's like, I think people design for humans that have never seen a computer before, and they think that people doing e-learning have never gone and Googled something on the internet or that. So it's definitely a mission that I'm trying to influence when I have conversations with clients.
Yeah, that's an old stereotype, I guess. But we do have also some courses or templates that have instructions, you know, just to be sure everyone understands what's going on.
Yeah.
But I believe we're on a good path that we just trying to remove them. I don't know what other e-learning developers would say about this. I'm not sure, but you know, we kind of like to do it in our own way. So.
Yeah, I agree with you as much as possible. We're trying to do it as well. Certain clients though do demand it. So yes. Cool. All right.
Okay, some another example. Would you have one?
Go for it.
Well, we can try to show you one of our latest templates.
Yeah.
Oh, it's already moved on. Well, I'm just going to reset it.
Yep.
So this is also Liga's design. We really liked it. It's completely different to what we had before.
Yeah.
It's clean. It has nice colors. Well, that's my favorite template, so that's why I'm excited. But
yeah, cool. Oh, that's good. I'm excited to see
more.
it. Yeah. I notice again, you've got like the subtle, you know, I like how you've done start as the dominant action and then exits there, but it's like reverse color, so it's not, the emphasis is not there. I think that's a really nice touch. Talk us through it, Liga.
Ghost button. What does ghost button do?
Ghost button. I like it.
Yes.
I eat Ghost's chocolate all the time.
It just the button that isn't meant to be the main action, but it has to be also there. It's called ghost button, and it's usually this white, and then some color around, so it's only line and this text inside.
Yeah.
Not like this one is text on solid background.
Yeah, that's cool. I definitely noticed that on apps and stuff now. I noticed you got a hover state on there. Do you guys do that a lot? Because I've actually we stopped developing with hover states because like you can't see them on mobile responsiveness really. So I'm just like, we'll skip that step.
Oh, you just skip it.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of like hover states. You know, it gives you the option that you know that's a button, that's something you can click. But I agree, on mobile devices, it's just useless.
Yeah,
So
it doesn't show.
we add hover states to storyline projects, and we don't use them in Captivate because what you said, we create responsive projects in Captivate, and there's really not necessary.
And also, and because of the fact that we are building templates for 2 tools, we used to do it for 3, but now it's 2, Captivate and Storyline. We also create different pages for each tool. There are things that can be done in Captivate, better than in Storyline, and otherwise. So, and for Captivate, we don't include hover states, but for Storyline, we keep on doing that, and we will, because it also, as Līva said, it gives user this interaction feeling, I would say.
Yeah,
and
I do agree with you. And now that we're talking about it, I'm like, yeah, most of our learners complete their learning on computers, so probably should give them that nice little bit of feedback that this can be interacted with. Thank you for that tip. All right, talk us through this one.
It's quite simple. It's shapes and 2 colors. And this template also is based on a sample we did for a challenge, actually.
Yes, it was a challenge too at first. A few pages, and then we built the whole template out of it.
Yes, it looked quite different.
Yeah.
I don't know, it was in different colors. And it was even more light. I don't know, this is a bit heavier in a look. So there's also a quite simple slider.
Where do you get your like, how do you come up with ideas for templates?
Oh, this is good. I want to know too, because it's always when we're like, wow, it looks so great. Where do you get those ideas?
Mainly, you just when you work with a client who works, because we mostly our work consists of working with
for clients.
Yes. Projects. So you see things that they have done, and you think, oh, maybe you can do this one in your way.
Yeah.
And then there's these challenges, and then you look at other people's works, and you notice a lot of nice stuff. And sometimes not so nice, and then you want to do it better or different. And as I said, there's also Behance and Dribble, which always features so many nice works, and it just, I don't know, you can lose your time when you dive in there. It's incredible. And then you try to think of something new, but also that's something familiar to user, so he doesn't get confused, and you try to put these things together, and then you create something that it's usable.
I think oh, sorry, you go, Līva.
Yeah, sometimes we also give Liga some themes, like, create something for medical, or create some educational templates. So, but other times, Liga just go wild with ideas, and it's the result is always amazing.
That's cool. She loves you.
I do.
It's interesting because I find it really, like, I can have an amazing idea in my head. I think it's amazing anyway. But trying to create it never turns out the same. Even if it's a simple thing like what we're seeing here, where you think it's just squares, text is here, rounded edges on the buttons. I really struggle to bring it to life. So what I have been starting to do now is I use Instagram a lot as a source of inspiration. I think the web design and the app design, photos and like pages on there, they're so beautiful and there's really lovely stuff. And then the other thing is in Shutterstock or any of the like the, what do you call them? Like iStock kind of photo library thingies, they have like PowerPoint templates and stuff. So you can go on and see full suites of the like full portfolio, or what do you call it? PowerPoint, like the title screen and like the dot points or whatever. So we'll do like a screen grab and then basically trace it, but digitally. That's my way of doing things now.
Yes, I agree, because I believe the web design and app design is so much ahead of it, no?
Yeah.
Ahead of e-learning design, and it shouldn't be that way. I think all design at this point should be clean and modern, but somehow everybody thinks that web development is good if it looks good, but e-learning, you just create something that looks from the 90s and we're gonna do it.
I think that's what I like as well, and I probably encourage people that are watching to do is like moving away. Just a simple change to modernize your design is moving away from the default buttons that are built into the tool. And like you can see, like that continue button really stands out. It's modern, it's nice, you want to click on it because it's like so inviting, but it's just a shape with text on it and it's a color, you know, it's very simple. So to move away from the default things, I really believe that custom buttons can enhance your design.
That's a good tip too, because we really don't use the default players in any of the tools, but now that I think, most of our clients use them. So the design is always going to be good inside, sloppy outside. Yeah. It has a gray border around it. It's not going to look that good.
Yeah.
So that's a great tip. True.
Thanks, mate. All right, keep going.
One more slider.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also a very basic one that we used in one of our own courses as a library, no dictionary template. So we put different definitions in. Mm-hmm.
Actually, just on the slider, so you guys are going to work on a medical one next. I worked on a project a few years ago where the slider was used really good in a medical situation, where it showed, I think they were called bed sores. And so it's basically people in hospitals, they lie there for a long time, and over time, a little cut, because they're lying on their bum the whole time, can become bigger and get infected and stuff. And so how the interaction worked was like, the slider was like at 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, and basically the wound got worse and worse. So you could see as a doctor or whatever looking at it, what it was. And then you could see, because the wound goes, it was gross. I hated looking at the photos, but it was like, it would go down the different levels of damage to the body. So skin level, fat, the bone is showing, and they used the slider to communicate that. And I thought it was a really effective interaction for that particular learning outcome. There's a tip for you.
Good idea. Yeah. We might steal it.
You're welcome to.
Thank you. So we try to use all the new features Storyline releases, so all of our users would use them, so like go into the. That's why you use so much sliders now. I guess next we'll move to dials and show something that you can do with it, because sometimes when they release new features, it's like, cool, what should I do with it? And then we try to show how you can use it. Yeah, that's at least what I think we do.
Yeah, cool.
So also a quite simple page, but it's very useful. Maybe this is not the best example in the terms of a picture, because hotspots is more suitable for. I don't know if you have some scheme or I don't know. Body parts need to.
We also use it for forms that you have to fill, like right here.
Yes.
Ah, that's cool. I like that. I like as well how you have the visited state, because especially as more of those hotspots are used, it can get confusing. Which one have I clicked on? So I like that you've gone, yeah, this one's visited, go check out the other ones still.
We try to use the visited state in almost all of our templates.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also some additional
That's nice.
fields for text you can open with the buttons.
I really think the colors are awesome in this one. Like, it's the perfect photo for the
right.
design. And I think that's a good point, is like, try and pick photos that are, you'll know the terminology in Liga better, but like that are in the like theme or something. I don't know.
Yeah, they complement the overall design. So when you asked about inspiration, it also comes from different photos. You look up in Unsplash or Pexels. There are a lot of great stuff, and I think this theme or this template came from photos.
Yeah.
The image before, from the exact image? That would be a great story.
This one?
Yeah.
From I don't know which one.
Okay.
Yeah. Also timeline.
Yep. Do you guys use the animations a lot?
Not really, but we try to lately because it's something that I think we should do more.
Okay.
Yes, I agree. Our
Why
clients
do you
ask
think
us
that?
to.
Because it's a way to make templates more exciting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any courses, I think.
Yes, everything, because movement is exciting.
And it gives you the attention, like you don't get bored, everything is still. You're just moving and you're like, like kids. Oh!
Also using animation for text, for example, is a good way to guide the learner through, because you can, for example, bullets in a page, you can show them one by one, not all in the same time, so the learner knows where to start, or maybe you can give more impact on some kind of items you are intended to.
Click on one of them again, because I think you have a really subtle thing, which is the circle gets slightly bigger for the active one, and I think that's nice as well. Something to think about.
Also some additional text fields. This is very text-based.
That's okay. Some e-learning definitely is. Yeah, cool. Very good. Do you think the things that we're talking about today, would you describe them as user interface ideas, or like where's the difference between graphic design and user interface?
I don't know how to answer.
That's okay. Google it later.
The thing I'm mostly confused when I work with e-learning is that people who work in e-learning try to say that design for e-learning is different than graphic design or design in terms of UI or UX, but actually the principles are the same. The psychology behind design is the same, and I don't believe that there's something very much different in e-learning than in graphic design overall.
That's a good point. Can you give it one example of what like the psychology of design is? What if they were looking at this screen, what's at play behind the scenes? Because I think you don't actually realize, like you've mentioned a few things like the Z and the F, but if you were to break this screen down from that psychology perspective, how would you do it?
Wow. First thing, those big things in design are color, hierarchy, and when you open this page, you see blocks of color that is inviting, but it's not let's say overwhelming. So you see if the main these tabs they are placed, I don't know, it's like 2/3 of the page.
Yeah.
So it's the main content. So you want to click on them, you want to see them. Very important thing about design is a hierarchy of text, of typefaces. I don't know what else.
No, that's cool. Even that is good. Because it's same like for people, I think, when they do photography. I'm so bad at photography. But it's the rule of thirds is what you're talking about. So you try to get like the main focus in the middle, or it's like over in 1/3, and then it's like the landscape is the other 2/3. So it's giving priority to what's on screen. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I guess so. And also we use usually one font or maximum 2 in the course, right?
Yes, very. I think it's mostly one.
That's
very
good
rarely
tip.
2. And almost every time it's some kind of sans serif.
Yeah.
Although I really want to build a template that uses serif.
Ooh.
Basic people here, I have no idea what sans serif or serif. just to be sure.
These are 2 types of typefaces. So this, what you see now is sans serif. Times New Roman serif.
I think the idea is that one is better for reading on screen and one is better for reading print. Like, so a book, if you go have a look at a book, they're pretty much all the same text. They're a bit more curly so that your eye can digest the information. But on screen, you want it clean. So the R is just like, yoop, but not like, woo.
Yes. I like your explanations.
Very good.
Thank you. That's because I don't have like the proper adjectives. I don't know how to speak properly. Okay, cool. I'm just conscious of time. We've got 10 minutes like left on the recording. How are you guys for time? You want to like do a speed session, or what are you thinking? Show us your faves.
Well, we have a few examples too. We can show you our next template, or we can show you a great game we created for sustainability.
Okay,
Or
why
what do you want to show?
What if your next template, click through it really quickly, and I'll just encourage the people that are watching to try and like apply what we've been talking about and think what works, what doesn't work in what you see.
Yeah.
And then, you guys can show us your game. So thinking about like, sorry, when they're clicking through this example, for anyone watching, thinking about like the Z, how they've used buttons, states, where the information is on screen, the hierarchy, all these things. So you guys can flick through it real quick.
So I can click through it. This is going to be your next template. It's built a bit differently because it's based on a Captivate template. So we have navigation buttons here.
Yeah.
And we used kind of like modern Scandinavian design, I believe. I'm not
that
sure.
picture was very IKEA, I feel.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So yeah, this is quite clean design.
Yeah.
And you can easily turn it in any course.
Cool. I noticed the shape of this one is slightly different rectangle. Can you help us understand that?
Which one? The whole course?
Yeah, the template, like it seems to be almost like a widescreen or something, whereas the other one was more of a square rectangle, but this one's like a long rectangle. How do you decide what size the canvas is for your courses?
Actually, we stick to one size. It's 1000 pixels wide and 562 pixels in height. it gives us a proportion of 9 to 11 or 9 to 12. Yes, and that's the size we stick to, because we were I don't know, maybe we should revisit our
maybe we should
decision.
bigger.
Yes, but it was something that we found ideal some time ago, so it's have been working well for us for past 5 years.
Fair enough. I think we use 1024 by 768 mostly, unless a client has funky monitors and they tell us they need something else. But it's normally in the style guide if that's where people need to look for it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you saw this is going to be our next template, so we hope people are going to like it. Cool. We can also show you a game, Liga design.
Yes.
Okay, sure.
Do it.
So
inspire us, guys. That's what it's all about.
Yes, so the whole course is about sustainability and how you can improve your day-to-day tasks to, save some energy and electricity. So at the end of the course, we created a game where you have to survive for a year. Well, you have a factory, I believe that was a factory, and you have to think how you're going to save the energy and how you're going to build it better for your employees and the environment.
Yeah.
So we designed a game like this. You have given some choices and you have to choose the best for you.
Okay.
Depending on your choices, something happens. For example, installation of solar panels. You can see how much it costs, what are the additional benefits. When you click on it,
Ooh,
these are simple tricks that gives the learner more information how it works and what happens.
I love how when you spent money, it was like in red and it was basically just flying off away. You'll never get it back. Good feedback.
So yes, I think the small things gives really big impact. These things you notice, like how the money, and if you can also create, it's like numbers changes and that's it. But if you add some, movement and some colors, you can make it more exciting.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
I don't know what this was. Something like this. I really like this game because it allows you to think and also it looks good.
Yeah.
I think that's something we try to achieve in almost all of our projects.
I like the progression as well. Like that feedback, it's not just a tick or a cross. Like you've obviously done something good there, that the trees have grown and the grass has gone green, and the fact that those things are on the roof now. Like I think that's really nice to help people think it doesn't just need to be correct, incorrect. What does feedback look like in the real world? And put that as the feedback for your learner, because then they relate better and they're more likely to actually change their behavior, or it's more memorable for them when they try to apply whatever it is back in the real world.
Yes, because usually these courses takes, about 20 minutes or half an hour. And usually after 20 minutes, when you're reading stuff, or you just get a bit bored. So it's good at the end of the course. Well, it's great that you have some.
No, I know what you mean.
So that's what we're thinking when we created this one.
Yeah, I like it. That's cool. Very good. Any others you want to share in the last couple of minutes, or?
That's
it. Thank you. That's awesome. Like, I really appreciate you guys sharing your designs. It's really nice. And the way you broke it down was awesome, especially for people that don't have that design background. Like, I think it helps people appreciate that there's more that goes into a design than just throwing things on screen. To finish it up, I just have one question, which is, what are you guys learning personally at the moment? Doesn't need to be related to work, but what are you learning?
Learning? Good question. I recently downloaded an app which gives you daily. Each day you get one article about some kind of art piece. Yesterday it was something from Japan. I didn't read it yet, but yeah, I try to get more cultural. Yes,
Each day?
more art and more culture and more art history. Yes.
Very cool.
Some tiny bits every day.
I like that. And you, Līva?
Well, last thing I tried, I'm trying to learn more about Adobe Illustrator. I'm trying to learn so I don't have to bother Liga so much with the marketing things and everything like that. So I'm trying to be independent in the design area, just asking for tips. And you know, Liga knows best, but I'm trying to take some work away from her if I can do it myself. So that's why I'm learning Adobe Illustrator.
And how are you learning it?
I actually had a subscription to Skillshare. I really liked it. Do you use it?
No, but I've heard about it. But tell us about it. It's good.
It's really good. There are a lot of professionals, especially in the design. So you're sure that you learn from the best. And they explain everything into details, and you have files that you can work with. So it's really easy to learn if you actually spend some time learning, because the class was like 5 hours long and it took me almost a month to finish it. But at the end, I felt really confident that I can do some things on our own. So
that's very
cool. I could really, Skillshare, it's a good thing if you ever want to learn design or anything else.
Yeah, nice. Cool. Well, thank you everyone for watching this episode of the Belvista Studios Show. I hope that this has added value to you and you can go out and create some more epic designs for your e-learning projects. If there's anyone you think we need to have on the show that's doing some really cool stuff, it doesn't need to be designs. It could be how they've developed one of their instructional design projects, how they've solved a problem for a client. Let us know. We'd love to have them. And I'd like to let you guys give the last message. If you want to speak in your native tongue and, I don't know, say have an awesome day or give some well wishes, it's over to you.
Laiveitas, that means good luck in our language.
They won't need luck, won't they? No. All right. Thank you for watching, and thank you, our guests, Līva and Liga from Faster Course. Appreciate you being on here.
Yes, thank you, Kim. This was lovely.
Bye.